Hi everyone, my name is Shalaa Collins. I actually felt compelled to make this video in conjunction with the WalkAway campaign, which I plan to share this video with, probably on the Facebook because, again, I just felt compelled to do so. So I want to talk about a couple of reasons as to why I decided to walk away from the Democratic Party. So let's just get right into it. I had to do this also because a tweet that I put out ended up going viral. And so as a result of that, I gained thousands of new Twitter followers. So thank you for whoever you are who decided to start following me on my journey. Even though it did start a couple of years ago, it seems like some things are just starting to come into fruition now. So if you do see me look to the right, it's because I tried to put some notes down to try to organize my thoughts to sound like it actually makes sense to everyone. So thank you for the WalkAway campaign. And secondly, I want to thank Anomaly, Legendary Energy. Some of you should know him. He has tons of followers on Facebook. He also shared this WalkAway campaign and shared some of the viral tweets that were going on. So he put them on his Facebook page, and it's just been running around. It's still being shared today. So in the spirit of the WalkAway campaign, I want to share my perspective as to why I decided to walk away. So many of you may know, obviously, from the actual brain fart from my tweet that I was a registered Democrat. I'm no longer a Democrat. I became unaffiliated in 2016, and that was done in part due to the 2016 Democratic primaries. Give me a second, guys. I'm getting there. Yes, so that was done due to the primaries. I was involved, active. I campaigned for the Bernie Sanders campaign. When voters' names were taken off the voter rolls, their party affiliation was switched in 2016. I was protesting in front of the Brooklyn Board of Elections in Brooklyn. This was during April. So I was part of that. I'm also a complainant in the active or not active DNC lawsuit that was championed by Jared Beck and his wife, Elizabeth Beck. God bless them for having the courage to actually take those big, bold steps forward to actually going and filing this lawsuit. They have endured vicious attacks and even threats to their life as a result of that lawsuit, not to mention two of the witnesses who turned up dead. So there was definitely a vested interest, it seems, as to reasons why they did not want this lawsuit to go forward. We can speculate who they is, but, there were people that didn't want this to happen. Jared Beck is also on Twitter. He's active. So is his wife. And he actually right now has a book out that's like a counter book to Hillary Clinton's What Happened. His book is titled What Happened to Bernie Sanders. And so if you were to go to Jared Beck's page, you would be able to see that book there. I think it's available on Amazon. Next, I do not support corruption. Justice delayed is justice denied, as you may have just heard Trey Gowdy actually note in those congressional hearings with Peter Strzok and several of the other folks who are being questioned right now for their activities and their participation in the 2016 the election, There's meddling, a bunch of other things. So anyhow, I strongly believe in equal justice under the law, and I continue to have a problem with corrupt politicians who are still walking around today and not doing their time as other normal Americans have to do. So the emperor is clearly walking around with their pants down. The DNC is corrupt. Republicans have their problem too, but the DNC, everything that they did, the way that they snubbed Bernie during 2016. I mean, even Trump seen it. Even Trump was talking about it. He would tweet about it. Sean Hannity would talk about it. Much more than the liberal media, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, just those media outlets did not give Bernie any love at all. So that also contributed to me being disenchanted with the Democratic Party. Lastly, I'll say identity politics is destroying meaningful debate. For a party who doesn't like labels, they are quick to call you names. Especially if you disagree with them. You can't preach inclusion and diversity and love and tolerance, but the minute someone has a different opinion than you do, then you'll attack them and try to chop their head off. So I personally feel that once you start to resort to name calling, then you discredit yourself and we just don't have to talk anymore. And I'm totally okay with that. So also in final, I want to give a shout out to some YouTubers and independent media folks that I've engaged with at one time or another. And the first, that would be starting off with Truth or Talk. I participated in her series, Blacker Than Thou, and we were talking about me leaving the Democratic plantation. You can find Truth or Talk on YouTube. She's a wonderful young woman, very intelligent, very bright. I found many of her interviews that she's had with several other folks to be very insightful. So you may want to follow Truth or Talk. I also had an interview with Talib Starks. He has his own show that comes on Thursdays, I believe at 1 o'clock. I hope I'm giving out the right information, Talib. I was on his show and we were talking about the whole Kanye West phenomenon and his text messages, his tweets that went viral and had everybody going crazy for about a week or so. Kevin's Corner. Kevin, thank you for having me on. I was just on Wednesday. He does his shows every Wednesday. I believe they start at 7:30. It's a radio show. I spent 2 hours with him just this past Wednesday. We talked about several topics, many things that are going on right now. This kind of week of news cycle. So we talked about the Supreme Court. We talked about immigration. We talked about Maxine Waters and several other things. There are people who called and it was a great show, and I'm thankful for being on there. So thank you again. Kevin's Corner, he has a YouTube channel as well. You can follow him. Great man, very intelligent, funny, entertaining, and it was a pleasure to have spoken to you, Kevin. And then last would be my boy, H.A. Goodman, who also comes from the left, just like Anomaly, like myself. So I was following those folks before I even started doing any of these interviews or anything. Anomaly, H.A. Goodman, I love you guys both. Always, always great information that you guys have shared. Your audience continues to grow because of who you are and what you actually bring to the table. I love you both. I wish you well, and I look forward to continue on this journey, to continue to share my stories, and Lord knows I have a lot of them. But I don't want to bore anybody. I'm trying to do a short video, but this is just my addition to the WalkAway campaign. Shala Collins, signing off. Good luck. See you soon.